Today we are going to begin our pumpkin patch in perspective. Perspective means what something looks like from where I am. And if I'm standing right here looking at this pumpkin patch, it appears as though the rows of pumpkins get smaller and smaller as they reach the distance, which is called a vanishing point, the point at which it looks like they all disappear. We're going to start our project by sketching our initial design. Start with my blank piece of paper, and the first thing I need to do is draw a horizon line. So I go about halfway and then another half, maybe, so about a quarter of the page down, maybe 1/3 about. Take my ruler, lay it across, hold tight, and lightly, very lightly, draw a line. That's my horizon line. The horizon is where the sky meets the land. Now I'm going to establish where my vanishing point is. That's where all my rows of pumpkins are going to disappear to. I'm just going to do a tiny little dot there so that I know where that is. Now, I need to make a few rows of pumpkins. I should have maybe 3 rows that connect to the bottom and then maybe 1 or 2 on each side. So I'm going to start near this edge. Doesn't have to be at the point, can be somewhere along here or here. Draw a line towards my vanishing point. I'm going to move my ruler to the other edge, draw a line there. Now I'm going to divide that into 2 more sections. So I'll have 3 sections total down here. So I line up with my vanishing point and draw straight down. Line up with my vanishing point here, dividing this section in half. Draw straight down. I've gotten 3 nice sections here. I'm going to have a section here. And then maybe 1 more here. I line up with my vanishing point. It's going to disappear here. Okay, I'm going to draw my entire piece using crayon. I'm not going to sketch it with pencil first because we're going to do a crayon watercolor resist. So we're going to take this, and all of these designs are drawn in crayon. Then we're going to color over it with black watercolor, and it's going to create this spooky nighttime atmosphere. I can, however, plan where I want things to go. I can plan that I'm going to have maybe a barn here. So I'm going to draw a barn down here on the land. Maybe here's my barn door. Maybe there's some windows. I'm drawing so lightly because I don't want to overpower it. Maybe I'll have a path coming down here. Maybe I'll have a tree right here. Nice big tree. Maybe I'll have another tree kind of behind it, so it's going to be a little bit above, and it's going to be a little bit smaller. So now I'm going to draw my pumpkins. I'm going to take my crayons, and I'm going to draw my pumpkins. First off, the way we draw a pumpkin, there's a few ways. One way is to take a circle and then add some parentheses, usually 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a stem. That's one way to draw a pumpkin. Another way is to draw an oval, add an oval on the side, add another oval on the end. Add an oval on the side, add another oval on the end. And he's a little crooked. He's not the world's most beautiful pumpkin. I can practice once or twice. Oh, I like this one. I like this one. He looks nice. There. So that's about the shape I want. I'm going to be drawing so many pumpkins that I don't want to be a perfectionist with each of them. I just want to go with where they lead me. So, pumpkins. I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and I'm actually going to have them overlap with the bottom of the page, and they're going to be really nice and big. So there's a pumpkin. This one maybe you can just see the very top of. Maybe you see more of the pumpkin here. And then I'm going to draw my next pumpkin. So maybe I've got one right here, but you don't see the bottom of it. It overlaps with the bottom a little, with the bottom pumpkin there. And then maybe there's another one here that overlaps a little. Now notice how I use my guidelines here, but I don't follow the lines. I don't ever make a crooked pumpkin. I'm going to show you an example of what a crooked pumpkin looks like. So on this piece, these pumpkins, you can see how these ones are pointing towards the center and these ones are pointing towards the center. But that's not actually how pumpkins grow. Pumpkins grow all pointing upwards. So this pumpkin should be drawn like this. So this with the stem pointing upwards, not pointing sideways. So think about that. As you draw your pumpkins, all of them, even if you can't see half of it, need to be pointing upwards. And the lines are just guidelines. So I'm going to draw another pumpkin here. I'm going to draw another one here. And maybe there's a space and some pumpkins have been picked already. You want to fill the whole page with your pumpkins, but it's okay if there's a little space. So maybe there's a space here, and then the next pumpkin is right here. And then maybe there's a pumpkin here. But as you go, you want the pumpkins to really only be as wide as the guidelines that they're lying in. So as I draw, they're going to get smaller and smaller. And then here, they're just going to be little pumpkin squiggles. So this one is going to be smaller. This one's going to be even smaller. This one, you might not even be able to see a lot of the details. And they're just going to be pumpkin squiggles. Here's the next one. Remember, their tops all need to be pointing straight up. Maybe I can't see that one. Maybe that one's just a pumpkin squiggle. And I'm going to continue until my whole pumpkin patch is full of pumpkins. And then I'm going to color these pumpkins in crayon. I'm going to take my crayon, and when you color them in, I need to color firmly, because any spot that I don't color firmly is just going to turn black when I do the watercolor over top. So color in thoroughly and firmly, and you can use different colors of orange and orange red. So I can add some yellow in, maybe some yellow at the top of this one, layering. Maybe all of your pumpkins have a little yellow at their top, giving it an extra dimension, and then the rest is orange. I'm going to color very, very securely, very firmly. Maybe there's a little bit of red that helps separate the nice sections of the pumpkin that you made. And then you color the rest in. So the way not to do the pumpkins, I'll show you how not to do one. This is much too light. All those little white flecks showing through, this entire pumpkin is just going to get completely covered with black paint when we do the resist, and all of your time and effort will be wasted. So remember, color firmly. If your hand gets a little sore, it means you're probably doing it right. I'm going to do a little bit of the yellow at the top there to keep my pumpkins consistent. What I'll probably do to make this take the least amount of time, I'm going to go through. I'm going to make all my pumpkins have a little bit of yellow at the top, and then color all of them orange, and then do a little bit of red around the bottom and up the curves to give it some nice dimension. I'm going to take maybe some brown or some green and color the stems. So a little bit of a stem on each. Remember, color firmly. Everything you want to show up needs to be colored firmly. All right, in the next video, we'll show the next step and how to continue making your beautiful piece of artwork. So today, make sure you do your vanishing point, your lines coming away from your horizon line, and then draw those pumpkins. Just draw them in crayon. If you have an ugly pumpkin, make it work. Maybe it's just an ugly pumpkin. Some pumpkins aren't gorgeous. Sometimes they are funky looking. So work on that today, and I hope you enjoy this project.